Reuben, what have you started?
I have started Dune Prophecy. Which should be called Dune Sisterhood, but they changed showrunners and changed the name, which just fills you with confidence about how something's going to go. However, the last show I watched about witches that changed its name, pretty good. Pretty good.
Very good.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
pros and cons. You win some, you lose some.
I saw a trailer for this, I think. This is June, but what if it was earlier and
Correct.
they had more magic or less magic?
Less magic.
And they
Same
had
amount of magic.
more robots or less robots?
Less robots, but only that's new.
But aren't there big robots?
Not anymore,
I thought I saw a thing in a trailer with a big robot.
probably. Are you familiar with the
fight.
Butlerian Jihad? Okay, picture
No.
picture a crusade.
Yeah.
Make the enemy AI robots.
Yeah.
And picture an Atreides saving the day.
You know what I'm not happy about?
Oh boy.
All of these, or as soon as some big fad comes on, like AI, everyone jumps on board.
He wrote this in 1964.
Frank Herbert in 1964. No, they're gonna be jumping on that AI trend in 60 years.
He wasn't writing about AI, but he was writing about computers. And so now
Does it say AI? Like, is that a term used
In the
Artificial
show?
Intelligence, or do they say machine learning?
they say thinking machines.
That's basically machine learning.
Intelligence that is artificial. To be fair, I think that's the same language as is used in the books, but I don't know because I haven't read them all because there's so freaking many of them. So, this is 10,000 years before the birth of Paul Atreides. The Bene Gesserit are not yet the Bene Gesserit. Instead, they are a mysterious, mystical sect called the Sisterhood. But they're pretty much the Bene Gesserit.
Way worse of a name.
Right?
Like, everyone has cool, weird
Yeah.
names that get muddled together.
Like the Spacing Guild.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's the most boring one. I picked the most boring one.
I used to get confused between the who are the evil ones?
Harkonnens?
And who are the other evil ones?
Atreides?
No, those...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't
I'm
read
doing
the
a
other ones.
commentary.
No,
heard
there's the
me.
Harkonnens and then there's the...
Oh, fucking
What are the
the
big ones?
The Sardaukar?
Yeah.
They're not a house. They're a military religious sect under the personal control of the Emperor. It's complicated.
Yeah, and there are 5 Harry Potter houses. Gryffindor,
What?
Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw,
And
Death
Dumbledore's
Eaters.
army? Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, Dumbledore's army. That's the one. And the Sisterhood.
Yeah. So look, the pitch of this show is like it's the before time. The machines have been defeated not that long ago. See the formation of the Sisterhood. Sisterhood's pretty much a thing. At the very start of episode 1 of this show, you've got weird witches living by themselves, advising the great houses, poisons and stabby things, and they already have a big library of genes.
Oh, they're the Bene Gesserit. It's the exact same thing. They haven't...
Almost. Yes, that's the
What
joke I'm
don't
making.
they have?
The voice?
Oh, okay.
Anyway, by the end of episode 1, she's used the voice. No, what they do have, though, is a big argument about whether the gene library is the future of the Order or whether it's a big risk and a stupid. And we have our protagonist, whose name is Valia Harkonnen. She's played by Emily Watson, who's in Chernobyl. I kept trying to place her. I was like, I know you. You've caused me deep emotional pain before. Where from? Oh, yeah, Chernobyl. And then you have I've forgotten her name, but I have it written down. I don't have it written down. Then you got Valia, and then you've got another nun.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Mother Superior called Mother Rakella is about to die. And she's like, come here, Valia, I've seen a vision and I'm going to tell you the future of the thing. And she's like, it's that genetic library I was working on. Of course I want you to keep working on it because we already agree on this. Did she really have a prophecy? Who's to say?
Yeah, okay.
The show makes it out like she did, but I don't trust anything in this show. I reckon she was just picking the person that she knew would do what she thought was best. Who knows? And
Is this like space Succession?
yeah.
It sounds like space Succession.
They're trying to be Game of Thrones. We'll talk about why in a sec. And Valia's like, okay, no worries. And later on, she's alone in a corridor with the other person who might be the successor.
Yeah.
And she's like, we shouldn't do this genetic library. I'm going to go shut it down. And Valia's like, take out your knife, put it to your throat, cut your throat. She uses the voice.
Is the voice is this directly connected to the Dune movies? That's what I wanted.
Yeah, it's the same universe.
Is this?
But it's 10,000 years. So
sure, but it's definitely like
definitely
these are the same Dune universes. It's
Yes.
not.
This
This isn't a prequel to the
TV miniseries or the David Lynch. No, this is the same universe.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm getting caught up.
The voice sounds the same.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Everything looks and sounds slightly different because it's TV, but honestly, surprisingly good. Every time they show a spaceship or a palace, I'm like, that looks real. So that's nice.
Cool.
That HBO has a huge budget. Anyway, so I guess I'm getting caught up in how it starts because it's interesting to me, this thing of like one pivotal decision that determines who they're going to be forever. This show is trying to be the next Game of Thrones. I can tell because at one point they just hard cut to a sex scene. I was like, what is the relevance of this narratively? But that's something that I've heard they do in Game of Thrones, so that's fun.
Okay, yep.
This show is also kind of made for me, but I don't know if it's actually very, very good. In the sense that it's lots of people in rooms talking, and it's basically everything they cut from Dune. So you know Dune, you have this huge book to adapt, they make it into 2 movies.
Sorry, what?
Dune.
I don't know Dune.
The movie Dune.
Dune?
Yeah, Dune.
Yeah.
By Jenny Villeneuve.
I'm aware of Dune. Sorry, I thought you were saying Dune, the month.
No, that's crazy. No, I was talking about Dune the movie.
Dune the movie.
It didn't even come out in Dune. It came out in like April or whatever.
Yeah.
And the other one, the part 1 came out in like November, 2 years ago.
Oh,
Don't even worry about it.
Okay, well, just to be clear,
Dune the movie.
the Frank Herbert series.
Correct.
Great.
Correct. And they cut a bunch of stuff, including famously, you were very annoyed that they cut the dinner scene.
So pissed off
Right?
about that. I was thinking about that recently.
Yeah?
I was like, why was I so pissed off? Can't remember. But that's because
Because it's a good scene.
Yeah, but
This
I read the
is-
book so long ago.
All dinner scenes. That's my pitch to you.
Sounds like Game of Thrones.
Sounds like Game of
there's a
Thrones.
lot of
I wouldn't
Game of
know.
Thrones ones.
I freaking have so much fun with this show because it doesn't give it to you on a silver platter. It just lets you figure it out.
Which sucks for a dinner scene. You want some sort of silver platter to be rocking up.
It's just empty. They're just serving them sand.
We've got all the intrigue. It's just on these shitty Kmart plates that we have that we found in the shed from, I think we got them 4 years ago. They're plastic, they're chipped.
But like, I guess you snort it?
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't figured out how to get the drugs out of it. So we're just serving you piles of sand and hoping it works.
Sand on Kmart plates, and you can just use whatever card you have around to cut it into lines, I guess. Do you snort sand like
Sure, yeah, totally.
hard drugs?
Yeah.
Oh, because it is hard
It's
drugs.
hard drugs.
And they do snort
hard
it.
drugs.
That's how they...
Yes.
You smell it, you sniff it for a bit.
Correct.
And then you get blue eyes or whatever.
That's right. Some of the people in this show have blue eyes, and that was a really helpful fact because in episode 1 we saw someone hanging out in like a club, and in episode 2 we saw this what looked like the same pair of blue eyes secretly as part of a like underground rebellion, and that was the only clue they gave us. So that was nice to find out. There was also another one where like. What can I say without spoilers? One of the people who works for the Imperial House and works for the princess and the emperor is just fully a spy. He's completely a rebellion operative, and they don't tell you that. They just show you him in one room and then show you him in another room, and you're like, wait a fucking second, you're doing you're doing a traitor here.
Yeah. I think that if you are going to be a spy, don't indulge in something that marks you physically in a way that says, I am a spy. So,
Yeah.
the blue-eyed folk, don't be doing the blue-eyes, but you're an idiot.
Yeah.
If you're part of the Death Eater 5th House of Hogwarts, don't put a big fucking skull and
Tattoo.
snake on your arm. Idiot.
Seems kind of obvious in hindsight. Here's what does work about this show.
Especially if you're a double agent.
Severus Snape.
Have we talked about why Snape is a terrible, terrible person?
I think it's pretty comprehensively covered in Harry Potter, but no.
Okay, see. No, that's... we don't need to go into it now.
Oh, okay.
He just sucks and is just
Yeah.
a creepy dude who obsessed over this woman for
Yeah,
years and
it's
then
fucked.
just bullied her son because
Because
it
he
wasn't
has her
his
eyes.
son.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a loser.
Deeply fucked up.
And then everyone voted and said that he was the best character?
I think what they mean is it's very well acted.
No, I think they just... I think people liked him. And I think that...
Do you think the incel and Harry Potter fan Venn diagram has got a lot of overlap?
The what?
Incel and
Incel.
Harry Potter fandoms.
I
Well,
think
you know.
that J.K. Rowling saw the movies happening.
Yes.
Was like, fuck, Alan Rickman's pretty good actually.
Yeah.
What if I made this character secretly nice this whole time?
Didn't she
finish
No, she didn't finish the books before the movies came out. That's crazy. I'd never thought through that.
So Half-Blood Prince, all that stuff of,
Yep.
Snape was actually...
That's literally a book about Snape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad book as well. Most boring one. Nothing happens. They go to school for a bit and then they're mates.
And then I don't want to say it. I had the twist at the end of Half-Blood Prince. I had it spoiled for me as a 7-year-old child. And so that is one spoiler that I am very reluctant to put out into the world.
I'm just going to say I don't know how many 7-year-old children are going to be listening to this.
Okay, spoilers for Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, everybody.
But Paul Atreides is the chosen one.
Yo, what the fuck? He jumped universes. Here's what works about this show.
Yeah,
you know how everyone's always talking about how the Bene Gesserit are so powerful and they're insidious and they're everywhere and all you really see is them using the voice once per movie?
Yeah.
Here you see it because they're barely using the voice because none of them have learned how to do it. And you literally see, there'll be like the Emperor and he's talking to one of the heads of the great houses and there's 2 Bene Gesserit in that room and they will do a little finger flick and being like, this conversation has to end right now.
A bit of what?
Finger flicking.
Okay.
And they'll be like, this conversation has to end right now. And one of the Bene Gesserit will just turn to like the fucking, the what's it called? Lord Richese or whatever of House Richese. And just be like, yo, it's not in your best interest to do this right now. I highly recommend you leave this room. And he's like mid-rant and he's like, fine, I'll leave. And so you see how they have like wormed their way into the corridors of power over a long time and that they don't even need the magic to work all of their manipulations. It's just good. And also the Emperor, whose name is, he's got a stupid name. Here we go. Emperor Javico Carino. That's just the same name twice. He's played by a chap called Mark Strong, who I know Mark Strong. You know Mark Strong?
Yeah, Mark Strong replaced the role of Carmine Falcone. The Penguin.
So he's in 2 HBO shows coming out consecutively.
Wow. Because originally it was John Turturro.
Yes, that's right.
Who fucking killed it.
Yep.
Didn't come back for the Penguin. Yep. He was quoted as saying, there's a lot of explicit violence against women. And I don't like that, so I said no.
Even though you're a villain.
Even though you're a villain, but...
to be fair, that was one of my complaints about Batman. So I kind of get where he's coming from.
Sure. He he was like, I don't want to do physical violence against women on screen.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a Dwayne The Rock Johnson energy of like, I don't want to do anything that could potentially harm the reputation of me.
Interesting.
Because I get too close to, maybe they don't know I'm playing a character.
This seems a bit different because John Turturro is a good actor and has a dynamic range of different characters that he's done. It seemed like a genuine thing, but also, I don't know, I'm not going to dive deep into it.
Okay.
But they could have like just not shot that stuff.
Yeah, changed the role
just
slightly.
Made it implied, which is what they did for the Batman, I guess, for him to feel okay with that. Anyways, Mark Strong was in that. Mark Strong also played... whatever the villain is in Shazam.
Oh, he did too.
Doctor something.
Zhivago. No, that's a different movie.
Closer. It has a Z in it.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, initially, it took me a while to warm up to his acting because I was like, this is not a strong emperor. He does not feel like he's playing a man who leads the known universe.
Mark Strong, more like Mark Weak.
Yeah. And then I went, that's the point. This is a man whose rule is like doomed to end by the end of this series.
Right.
And you see, he's hopeless. He makes no decisions. He gets run over by everyone. His Bene Gesserit, his wife, fucking Lord Richese. Literally anyone who talks to him, they're like, yeah, but what if you saw it my way? Because I made that good call that one time. And he's like, yeah, you did. All right.
Right.
It's just great. Someone comes to him and he's like, would you like me to do a murder? And he's like, no, don't do a murder. This man called Desmond Hart goes off, does the murder, comes back to him. He's like, you can't believe you did the murder. And he's like, what are you going to do about it? And he arrests him for a short time, but he gets out. It's a long story, but it's just this really nice, subtle performance of like, I am scrambling to retain the projection and appearance of power, but I'm absolutely hopeless. And literally, it's great. It's just great.
Cool.
It's probably like Robert Baratheon or whatever in fucking Game of Thrones, but I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it either.
Anyway.
We should stop talking about Game of Thrones, this show that we haven't seen.
I shan't. Is
that a quote from Game of Thrones?
Probably.
I haven't seen it.
I shan't. It's when it's at the end of season 1 when they're going to cut Ned Stark's head off. Kneel down, we're going to cut your head off. I shan't.
I don't understand that reference. Is it part of the Red Wedding where something happens and they're like,
Probably like, hey,
No,
will you, my dear,
will you marry me?
I shan't. And then there's
shan't.
murder. Then everyone kills everyone.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope that any of that made sense. It's kind of late at night. I like the show. I don't know if it's going to stick the landing. I'm 2 episodes in out of 6, and it's for you if you like the first third of the Dune book, the politics bit, the good bit, if you will.
What about if
you
just like the movies?
If you like the movies, then, I mean, this isn't directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Who is it directed by?
A bunch of people. You know how shows work.
Ah, boo.
Yeah.
I like one director in my shows.
Yeah.
I can't name you a single show that I've watched with one director. But when I find it, I know I'm going to love it.
Oh, boy, I'm going to love it. Yep.
Cool. What's
It's
it
the
on?
politics
Where
of
do I
Dune.
watch it?
Hubba.
Bless you.
It is on Home Box Office Max.
Oh, well, we don't have that
Which is
here in
now just
Australia.
Max. Well, it's on Fetch or Binge or Foxtel. I don't know how that works, but I always find a way to watch the stuff that I think I'm using your family's account is what's happening.
Okay.
But even on our TV in our apartment, I don't even know what I log on to. I just press buttons until I get to the thing that shows me that vague orange font, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Now we're in the Harley Quinn spot. This is good. Anyway. Should you watch this or The Penguin? Probably The Penguin, because everyone has universally praised that, and I have heard no one talking about this show.
Which is weird, since
which is
everyone
wild,
fucking loves
because
Dune.
June was this year.
Maybe if they didn't change the title, then people would be able to...
I reckon they should have called it Sisterhood. That's way better.
I didn't know that this was coming out. What's the title of it again?
Dune Prophecy.
Was it called Dune Sisterhood? Before?
Yeah.
It still had the Dune in the title. Does it have the same logo with the dots for the E and the...
I don't know. They don't have...
It has,
Yeah, I
they're all
think
like
they
the
do.
U shapes.
I'm trying to remember at the start. I've only watched 2 of the episodes. Dune Prophecy logo. Probably. I think they did
It
one
was pretty
more.
smart. It was the graphic designer who came up with that Dune logo,
It's good, isn't it?
which is just all the same
It's just
shape,
all circles. Yeah.
did so well.
Yeah. No, so they've amended it slightly here, but it's basically the same vibe.
Looks kind of older and a bit shittier, but still has some magic and robots,
Just like this show.
just like the show.